Hello, friend. What I feed and what it might cost in your area is immaterial to our conversation. The only thing I'm trying to illustrate is you've got to feed cheap or free feed. Historically, the beef and dairy industries have been byproduct driven industries. So if you lived in California, you fed citrus pulp and almond hulls. If you lived in Northwest Washington, you fed the plentiful grass. And in my case, I'm close to a college town, so I get cheap brewer's grain, right? If you're in the Midwest, you know, that DDGs and plentiful corn and things like that. If you own a row crop farm, you're going to have corners, feed refusals, fields that don't work out, cover crops. If you look out your window and there's endless miles of pasture and grass, that's what you need to feed. So if I lived in St. Paul, Idaho, I would be trying to figure out how to feed beet pulp, wet beet pulp. Could I haul wet beet pulp 800 miles and feed it? Well, hell no. You know, if I lived in Florida, I would be figuring out how to feed, Sudan grass and citrus pulp. Could I haul Sudan grass round bales or citrus pulp from Florida to here? Well, hell no. You know, so if you're gonna make it in the beef business, you gotta look out the window, figure out what's cheap or free. You know, if you look out the window and there's 8 mega dairies within sight, okay, 9 years out of 10, their byproducts are going to be what? Holstein bull calves. 10 years out of 10, one of their byproducts is going to be hospital milk. If you can work a deal right, you could get some feed refusal, but there's going to be cover crops. Okay, if you live in potato country, well, they do cover crops with wheat, things like that. If they can't irrigate it, there's going to be, or get a tractor on it, right? You got to go after that non-tillable, non-irrigated land, but then you also got to think cover crops and cold potatoes. My friend Kelly in Quincy lives next door to a pea plant. I can't, I can't pay to haul peas, uh, pea screenings 200 miles. But if I live next to a pea screening plant, that's what I would do. If you live next to a major sale yard, what's your advantage? Go over there in your spare time and frickin' pick away at the singles. If you live in alfalfa country, there's going to be kickouts, there's going to be tops, things like that. You know, so like I said, what I actually feed is immaterial. How I feed it and why I feed it is what's important to you. I want you guys to look out the window, figure out what works in your area. That's what it's going to take to survive as a smaller starting farmer. You know, if you think you're going to borrow the money and buy a place and just, call the alfalfa hay truck to bring in alfalfa and call the grain truck to drop off the grain, um, pretty lonely. You're going to have a lot of feed salesmen giving you coats and shit for the first and last 4 years you're in the business. You got to find something. If that's you running around on a round baler picking away at cheap and free 5 yard or 5 acre parcels, which is something I could do here. If I wasn't in the brewer's grain business, I'd probably go get a round baler and start working the corners in the fields. There you have it. Happy New Year.